Hi guys, it's Mommy Life. I haven't really done a video in a while about my anxiety. And it's been getting really bad again, so I kind of thought I'd talk a little bit more about it. I I don't know. I've been having a lot of problems lately. I've got a lot going on in my life, and I am very much the type of person who always thinks of the worst case scenario in a situation, because to me, I'm preparing myself for, I guess, failure. Uh, but the positive to that is then when it doesn't happen and the good happens, then I'm excited about it. Problem is the time frame between when I know something's going to happen, how long it takes for it to happen, I turn into this. I have been having horrible headaches and making myself sick. That is my key to my anxiety. I make myself sick over everything. When I was a kid and I didn't want to go somewhere, I would physically make myself ill so that I could stay at my aunt's or I could stay home and I didn't have to go. My battery's dying. Hold on. I know. Dead spot. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I plug my computer in. There we go. So, that was a waste of like 30 seconds. Anyway, it's real life. So I used to have to make myself sick to get out of doing things. As I've gotten older and my anxiety's gotten worse, more so since my son was born. When he was born, everything changed. Right before my son was born, for quite a few years, I had everything under control. I knew that if I left the house, as long as I had my own car and my car keys, my cell phone, and a credit card, and between you and me, if somebody ever robbed me, they're guaranteed $50 because I always keep $50 like folded and stuck in my wallet somewhere. Because to me, that was my safety net. If my car broke down, I could get a cab, you know. If I was in a public place with people and I got freaked out, I could leave. I had my car. If something happened, I had my phone. And I was doing really well. And then my son was born. And all hell broke loose. I freak out over everything. I mean, to the point, I'll go through an intersection, and after I'm through it, I'm like, wow, what if I would have just got hit by a car? And then I start to freak out over something that didn't even happen. But in my head, I'm playing it, and then I can feel my heart rate go through the roof sometimes. And that's kind of like a lot of how my anxiety is. I think of things that didn't even happen and get myself worked up about it. I've learned to talk to myself. My husband thinks it's hysterical when I do it, but one thing that I do a lot, I'm originally from Pennsylvania, Jersey area, and now I live up in New England. And when I go home, driving over bridges has always terrified me. I roll my window down. I don't care if it's raining, snowing, whatever. I always roll my window down. Which doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but to me, it's like, well, if my car gets wet, if I go off the bridge, I need to get out the window. So it's one of my weird quirks. But we have to go over the George Washington Bridge when we go back and forth. That bridge scares the shit out of me. And so I sing the song from Caddyshack the whole way over the bridge. The I'm alright. Yeah, I sing that the whole way over the bridge. And my husband laughs at me. He's tried videotaping me, but then I just sing it or hum it in my head. Like I don't do the dance. But it's something that I do to cope with getting over something that I don't like. But I literally do it every single time. Now that I've sidetracked, back to making myself sick. When I was a kid, I had to force myself to get sick. Now, when I have anxiety and I don't want to go or do something, my body will naturally make myself sick. And then I have to talk myself down from it. Like, okay, you're not really sick. This is your anxiety. You have to breathe. The past couple days, my eye keeps twitching. My head hurts. I'm like, okay, you gotta walk away from this. You gotta step back and realize that everything's gonna be okay. And I know for some of you, and even for myself, it doesn't always work. There are times where I can't talk myself out of it. I'll call my girlfriend and cry. Like, help me. And she has some of the same issues that I have. She's not as nearly as extreme, I think, as I am, but she can relate to what I go through and how I feel about things. Love her to death. Miss her up here. Love you, Jenny. But I kind of deal with things like that. Most of the time, the problem was I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety I didn't really have the panic attacks as much when I was younger as I do now as I'm older. But I was diagnosed when I was probably about 12 or 13, and my parents took me to a shrink, and they wanted to put me on Prozac. And my mom's like, no, I've dealt with this my whole life, and you're not medicating my kid. And so my mom taught me a lot of these mechanisms because my mom also suffers from them. And don't get me wrong, I was prescribed Ativan once. I still have the bottle of them. And there are moments in time I don't take them as prescribed on a daily basis. Mine are more like, okay, my husband's home, my kid's in bed, I can take one because they just like wipe me out. But I call them my I don't give a fuck pills because when I take one, I just don't give a fuck. I normally go to sleep. I'm a happy person when I'm asleep. But again, I try to deal with this all myself. And as much as I can, I won't take them. I talk myself through a lot of things. I talk myself into and out of a lot of things in life with my anxieties. Examples like driving my husband to work when his car's broke down. Like severe anxiety to the point that once I drop him off and I'm alone in the car with my son, I call my mom to talk to me. Because in my head, the logic is, even though she's like 10 hours away from me in Pennsylvania, if something was to happen, if she's on the phone, she'll know and she'll call my husband. Like, that's how extreme I am. And then if I was to go pick my husband up because his car wasn't done yet, I'll call my girlfriend and like, you gotta talk to me. And I just talk. And it kind of keeps me occupied and busy and not thinking about things. So, I'm at my 6-minute mark here, guys, so I can't really talk too much longer because I'm not a big YouTuber yet. I'm working on it. So I only get like 10 minutes to talk, or else I have to get permission to put a video up. But these are some of the things that I deal with on a daily basis, and I'm very much agoraphobic to an extent. I don't like being in huge public situations. I don't really like a lot of people. But if I'm at a function where it's mostly people I know, I'm okay. Or you'll see me wander off by myself somewhere and calm down and pull myself together, and then I'll go back to the crowd. It's kind of just how I do with things. I don't go to concerts or anything like that. Oh, whew, hell no. Been there, done that. Unless my seats are right by a door and I know I can get out in case of an emergency, because I do that with every place I go into, which I'm petrified. I have to fly. I'm taking my son to Disney later in the year, and you can't get yourself out of a plane, and that scares the bejesus out of me. I'm 36 years old. I have flown once in my whole life, and the only thing getting me through this flight is going to be that I'm doing it for my son. And that's what gets me through a lot of things too, is that, okay, you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your son. Like days I don't want to get out of bed and I don't want to do anything, I get up for him. I know he has things and needs and wants, and I have to play with him. Not have to. I want to play with him. Sometimes it's harder than others. Some days it is more forced. Like I have to force myself to go do it. But even taking him to school, there's days I'm like, I don't feel good. And it's because I don't want to get in the car. I don't want to be out in public. I don't want to drive. I don't want to do any of that. But I do it for him. And I will continue to do everything for him. So, if you guys have any questions you want answered of how I deal with certain situations or what I deal with, feel free to leave a comment below. Make sure you subscribe to my page. Tell me what you think. I'll be posting more videos here and there of my anxiety and stuff and how I cope with different situations in life. I might have a situation and come to a video and say, look, this is what happened to me today. This is how I'm dealing with it. So, like I'm doing right now, I have a lot going on right now. I'm trying to get something squared away with our life, and it's really freaking my head out. So, making a video helps me feel better to talk about it without putting all my business out there as to what's going through my head. But, so, anyway, guys, this is the Mommy Life. Make sure you come back, check me out again. You can also find me on Facebook. I have a Mommy Life Facebook page. So, I'll talk to you later. Mommy Life out, guys.